Morning, folks. Only it's not. It's, I don't know, 6:30 in the evening. But for more than 24 hours now, probably closer to 30, my phone doesn't work. Neither does Cindy's. We got a hold of ETA or AT&T on the landline. They said that there was 5 towers in our area and every one of them was out. So, not too long ago, about half the country was out of service too. Kind of makes you wonder. There was rumors of it being kind of some cyber attack thing where they were testing the water to see what they could do for real and all this stuff. And maybe it is, maybe it's just poor equipment. But yeah, all I get says emergency calls only. Then you go to try to make a phone call and it doesn't go through either. Texts and that kind of thing doesn't work. But it got me to kind of wondering and thinking about this a little bit. Years ago, there's a little restaurant up the road here, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Back then it was called the Lewis and Clark Cafe. Since then, it's been a pizza place for a couple of different owners and whatnot. And this has been probably more than 20 years ago now, before we had cell phones and all this stuff. And there comes Cindy now. Anyway, we were in there having dinner, and the lights went out. And we were about done anyway, so it didn't really make a lot of difference. We were fixing to leave. We get up and go over to the cash register to pay them. Well, their cash registers wouldn't open because they were electric. The power had gone out. The place filled with smoke because their electric fans on their electric grills weren't pulling the smoke out. The folks that had credit cards, they ended up with a free meal because they couldn't pay at all. We come as close as we could and just left them cash. And, it kind of got me to thinking back then how reliant we are on electricity and all these gadgets and gizmos and things. This cell phone thing kind of redoes that. Computers. I never wanted one of the stupid things. My neighbor is a school teacher, and she gave me one when they replaced the computers at the school. This has been a long time back now. Never wanted one. Never had any use for it. Then I found Gunbroker. A gun show you can go to in your underwear. It was great. 24-hour-a-day gun show. And I sold quite a few gun holsters and gun-related things on there. I did too. I sold a couple of muzzle loaders, I guess. But anything that took an FFL, Federal Firearms License, if you're not a gun person. Yeah, my battery's dead. I gotta swap her out. So I don't know where I got cut off on my on my battery-operated electric camera here. But I don't know why these batteries, maybe they're just getting old. They seem like they used to last longer than this. But anyway, back to the computer. I found Gunbroker. I started selling some of my gun holsters and leather work through that, and it was a good deal. I made quite a bit of money that was kind of extra from my living room, basically. And didn't need to deal with people, really. I mean, a little bit over through emails and whatnot. And that was a good deal. And then this YouTube thing. I'm not a technology person. I really don't like this kind of stuff. I've avoided it most of my life. And every time I have, I've kind of been left behind. Other people end up making money and doing these things, and I'm always kind of the latecomer that avoided it all and missed out. So this time, I decided that I wouldn't do that, and I'd try to make a little bit of money. My cousin Seth, he was doing it, and my cousin Greg was also doing a little bit of it. And I asked Seth, I said, well, why do you want to mess with that for? And he said, well, I'm making some money. I thought, well, shoot, tell me more about this, because my job doesn't pay very much. I had been working also as water master, and that's kind of another story, but what a horrible job that is. I'll never do that again unless I'm starving to death. But I needed something to kind of add to my income that I could do without having to go to another job. And this seemed like the thing to do, and I've made a little bit of money. It's not a heck of a lot, but it helps. But anybody that knows me is really shocked that I would even consider doing this, because this isn't the kind of thing I like. But YouTube, I've kind of gotten used to it now, and talking to myself or talking to you folks has gotten a little bit easier. But I still feel a little bit silly when people find out about it. But anyway, without computers, that wouldn't have happened. There's a lot of folks. I trapped a skunk for a guy here a couple of years ago, and he moved up here from San Francisco. And I thought, well, what do you do for a living? I've never seen you in town working anywhere. Oh, I work through my computer from my house. Which, kind of both good and bad. I mean, it lets people live anywhere they want to, but it lets people live anywhere they want to. There are a lot of folks that kind of rather they weren't here. That guy's a nice guy, but a lot of them aren't, you know. But if the computers went down, what would he do for money? You know, he works from home. His paycheck is going to be done. He won't have anything. And kind of with this YouTube stuff, same thing. If it stops, I won't have that income, but I don't rely on it either. It's nice to have. It's a little extra, but it's not a lot of money. These cell phones, I never wanted one of those either. And the fairgrounds told me I had too many good hiding places, and I had to get one because they couldn't find me most of the time. And now that I've had one for as long as I have, I'm kind of like everybody else. I'm kind of addicted to the stupid things. I usually either get or send a text message to texting. I never thought I'd do that. Anyway, send a text message to Idaho Hillbilly pretty much every morning to say good morning, and we visit for a little bit and then get doing what we're doing for the day. And there's a couple other people too, and Dave Morelli from Morelli's Tactical Advantage, he calls me about every morning, and I visit with him. But I couldn't do those things before. Well, anyway, kind of wondering, I mean, have people really outsmarted themselves? Have we gotten to be too reliant? I mean, a lot of folks, there's a lot of younger people that they've never known life without a cell phone. We didn't, we didn't have them for a lot of years. We didn't miss them either. And just now, Cindy's been in town, and she just came home. My truck's down here on the fairgrounds. She's probably wondering where I am. You can't really see this spot from the house. Normally, she would call and see what I was up to. Can't do that now. But anyhow, that plow, I changed those teeth on here. Take a look at this. Talk about junk steel. This is that one, that tine that bent. Let's set it on here. This is that tine that bent so bad the other day. Well, I used it just a little bit more, and now it's broken. That's a 1/2 inch steel. That should not have broke. Shouldn't have bent, but let alone broke. Now, I can bend that back or cut it off completely and re-weld it. also bent this direction. And actually, if you look at this, get back a little ways, this should be straight. This is bent, even the thick direction, it's bent this way. This should be about here. Oh, pretty much junk, in my opinion. The plow works really well. It's a good plow, but the tines are garbage. There's enough room here. That nut is about as wide as this. I think I can, after I weld it back on, I think I can get some more thicker metal and put a piece right here and a piece, piece right here and a piece right there, and still be able to get that on and off. And then too, look how much wear is on this. Those were pointed. That's one day. Just one day's use. It's already worn off that much. Too reliant on Chinese steel too. Anyway, that's a whole different deal. See you folks later, and thanks for watching. Bye.